Thank you for being at this ReConnect announcement event. We're going to get started in the right fashion, and as that is, I'm going to ask Mr. L.E. Hewitt, who just sat down, to get back up. And he's going to come and pray and open this event up. Mr. L.E. and his wife, Donna, who I don't know where she is right now, and their son, Justin, Donna's right there, and their son, Justin, they own this farm, and they have been so gracious and wonderful. So we're going to call on L.E. to open us up with prayer.
Obviously, we're extremely humbled by the distinguished guests on the stage and by all you, our neighbors and friends, to being here. So let's put everything in perspective and let's go to pray with me, please. Father, to you, the only true and living God, we come before you, Lord, thanking you for this great event, one of the greatest things I've ever been part of, Lord. Thank you for getting everyone here safely. The rain was terrible yesterday, but it's a beautiful day today. Father, for these people that are on the stage that you have chosen, Lord, we devise our plans in our hearts, but you direct our steps. You work the circumstances for them to be in the positions that they're in today. Father, they need your wisdom. They need your understanding as they go about creating policies and govern our great state and our great nation. Father, I pray that they would have a tremendous respect and even a fear of you, that as they go about their daily tasks to govern this great nation, by so doing, they will have your grace and your mercy and your wisdom. So, Lord, thank you for them being here today. Thank you for this work that they've already done, that they're fixing to announce to us today. Father, you bless them and bless us, and may they strive to keep we, your people, united in one great United States under you, our God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ellie. So, many of you might know that shortly after President Trump took office, he issued an executive order establishing an interagency task force on agriculture and rural prosperity. And he charged Secretary Sonny Perdue with the responsibility of chairing this task force. And that included 22 federal agencies. Now, can you imagine what a chore that was, trying to wrangle 22 federal agencies and come up with a plan? But he did it. So the task force held listening sessions in rural America. The Secretary himself traveled to more than 30 states. He also held 2 RV tours covering 2,200 miles. And he and that task force, they listened. They listened to rural America. Out of all of these listening sessions, they came up with about 100 recommendations that the federal government could do to improve rural life. But the number one need was broadband. So at Trump's direction, Congress passed the Consolidated Appropriations Act that established a new broadband loan and grant program that is called the ReConnect program, and it is administered under Secretary Sonny Perdue and USDA. The second round of that ReConnect program is ongoing now. The deadline is March the 16th, so if there's communities interested, you can see me afterwards. But what we're here today to celebrate are the awards coming out of the first round of ReConnect dollars. During that first round, $550 million was appropriated for broadband. There were 146 applications received across the nation. Georgia had 7 applications that were submitted, and out of that 7, 3 were successful. They made it across the finish line. So today, and I guess you realize by now I'm not Secretary Sonny Perdue, but I once was his secretary when he was Governor of Purdue. He got held up in Washington, D.C. due to the weather. So I hope that doesn't disappoint many of you. If I know him, he'll probably charter an aircraft and he will try and get here. When he called me, that's what I said. I said, well, sir, and he knew I was disappointed. He said, well, I said, sir, can't you just like push the pilot over and you get in the cockpit? Because he is a pilot. I mean, he could do that. He said, Joyce, I've tried. So if I know him, he might show up. You keep your eyes peeled. But just in case, I have the honor to make this announcement today that USDA has announced a $5 million investment in 2 high-speed broadband infrastructure projects that will create or improve rural e-connectivity for 1,221 households, 20 farms, 32 businesses in McIntosh and Evans counties in Georgia. So I hope you will take a minute to just look at this panel of our esteemed public servants and understand that each one of them is here because they wanted to be here. It was difficult getting here. As I said, the secretary's having a bit of travel troubles himself, but they're here because they know the importance of high-speed internet, and they've made a point to be here to commend Darien Telephone Company and Pembroke Telephone Company. Darien receiving $1 million and Pembroke is receiving $4 million in funding to get these projects done. So to kick off the celebration, it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of your own, to welcome Congressman Rick Allen back home. As you know, he represents the 12th District. Prior to him becoming elected in 2014 to the U.S. House of Representatives, he founded his own construction company, R.W. Allen and Associates, which has created thousands of jobs in the Augusta and Athens communities. He's the son of a farmer, so he proudly serves on the House Committee on Agriculture, the House Education Committee, the Labor Committee, and he is the senior Republican on the Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Education Committee. He graduated from Auburn University School of Architecture and Fine Arts, and he and his wife Robin have been married for 46 years. They raised 4 children. They enjoyed 13 grandchildren. So at this time, I give you Congressman Rick Allen.
Thank you. Well, Governor, welcome to the 12th District of Georgia, and Senator Nelson, thank you for being here, and Senator Perdue, of course, Senator Governor, and all of our special guests. I'm going to introduce the next guy sitting there, so I'll do that when my turn comes. But I see the mayor out there, and of course, Wayne, good to see you, and Robert, and all of you. I'm sorry I didn't get to shake your hand. I was trying to find more clothes to put on to get up here. But it's great to be in Claxton. The good news, I have not been in Washington this week. We've been in the district, and I'm very sorry that Secretary Perdue could not be here, because I know how hard working with the Secretary on the Agriculture Committee, how hard we work to get broadband to rural America. As a member of the House Agriculture Committee, I've been a long-time advocate for bridging the digital divide and expanding broadband access to historically underserved areas. Now, I don't want to get too much into politics today, but you did hear a description by a former mayor of New York about agriculture. I won't take the time for this color, and he talks about digging a hole. Folks, I'm going to tell you what. I'd like to be on that debate stage. I'd like to tell him. I said, you know what, man? I planted peanuts, and I never put my hand on the wheel of the tractor. A satellite guided that tractor down that row, and I planted 17 inches more than the year before. He needs to come down here to Georgia, and we'll teach him how to farm. And that's why we need broadband, ain't it, right? I mean, good grief, of course, we got this plenty covered here right now, but it's broadband access is absolutely essential. The 2018 Farm Bill, we put funds in there for that, and everyone up here supported that Farm Bill. I want to congratulate both Pembroke Telephone Company and Darien Telephone Company on this vital funding. These projects are going to bring high quality broadband and economic vitality to this area. Again, I want to say thank you to the President. How many of you saw the State of the Union? Yeah, well, he was talking more about what he was going to do in that as well. I hope you saw that part. But wasn't that great? And you believe the speaker tore the thing up, I tell you. Yeah, I shouldn't be bringing these things up, but anyway. So now I have the pleasure of, I tell you what, one thing that I love about this position is serving with my colleagues in Washington. And y'all, I'll tell you that the privilege, we have a strong delegation in Washington, D.C. And my colleagues, and of course, Senator Leffler, we're so delighted that you're there now. We miss Johnny. But you know, we get together for lunch on Thursdays when we can work that in. And we talk about issues that are important to Georgia. And let me tell you, the president listens. The only thing we got to do for the president, he does give me a hard time. I don't know if David, he says this to you. But every time I'm seeing, he said, we only won Georgia by 5? We got to do better than that. But anyway, does he say that to you, David? But anyhow, that's what he says to me every time I see him. But it's my privilege now to introduce you to Buddy Carter. He's our member of Congress just south of us. Buddy and I came in together. We have something in common. When we came in together, Buddy was the only pharmacist in the United States Congress, and I was the only general contractor. And so, Buddy serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee. And Buddy, it's my privilege now to ask you to come and say a few words.
Well, thank you, Rick, and thank all of you for being here. And let me begin by thanking all of our distinguished guests, senators, governor. Thank y'all for being here. What a special time, and this is very much important. Important for rural Georgia. And that's important for us to remember, that this is not about the 1st district, it's not about the 12th district or the 2nd district, it's about rural Georgia. As Rick indicated, I serve on the Energy and Commerce Committee. We cover telecommunications in that committee. One of the things that we have been focusing on is how do we make sure that we don't leave the rural areas behind when it comes to high-speed internet and broadband. We have to make sure that they are included. We cannot have a divide between the urban and rural areas in our country. Rick just indicated how important precision ag is and how important high-speed internet is going to be to make sure that we can implement that. All of that is extremely important. I want to congratulate Pembroke. I want to congratulate McIntosh County and the work that you've done in making sure that you've applied for this, making sure you followed through with it, making sure that you are getting those funds into your communities, because that's why they're there. Now look, I know we need to cut spending in Washington, D.C., but when there are grants available like that, I want to see them come here. I want to see them come to rural Georgia, to our area. That's why it's important that everyone work together. Now, I'm going to be real short because I don't think it's this cold in the 1st district. I think it's colder here in the 12th. Y'all must not be paying your preacher good enough. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I'm anxious to get back there. I'm not inviting you back. But it is indeed an honor. And let me say what a great job Rick Allen does representing the 12th Congressional District. And I'm not just trying to patronize him. He does an excellent job. He's a hard worker. He has always got the 12th District on his mind, always representing you well. Another person who represents us well is our 12th Lieutenant Governor, and that is Jeff Duncan. Jeff and I have something in common. Both of us have 3 sons, and I've always said to my wife that there's a special place in heaven for a mother who has 3 sons, and I believe that. And I believe there's going to be a special place in heaven for his wife as well. Jeff, we are truly blessed to be represented by Jeff Duncan. He is President of the Senate, which I had the honor of serving in for many years. And I can tell you, it's no easy task keeping those guys in line. So, Governor, we appreciate what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, the 12th Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan.
Thank you. My wife will argue that she has 4 sons and I'm the 4th son. I don't know if I've ever given a speech this cold, so I'm hoping my lips work through this. What an honor to be here. And if you've ever heard me talk, you've heard me talk about wanting to make Georgia the technology capital of the East Coast of this country. And it's important to understand when I talk about us being the technology capital, it's not an Atlanta story, it's all of Georgia. And to me, one of the greatest lifelines to rural Georgia could possibly be this notion of being the technology capital of the East Coast, because every business, every industry is a technology company at heart today. Whether it's social media, data mining, software, hardware, analytics, we all lean into technology for operating our businesses and growing our businesses. And if we do this right here in Georgia, and we create a K-12 system that gives us this 21st century global economy ready students, we have a workforce development system that's really ready to take on and tackle this generation's challenges, then we will attract the best and brightest from around the world to come here to Georgia. This is a huge step in making sure that all of Georgia has that same opportunity to be the technology capital. It's an opportunity that I believe we're going to look back in 10, 20 years and see this as an opportunity where we have truly changed directions in this state and not just captured the attention of the Southeast, not just captured the attention of this country, but captured the attention of the entire world, because we are headed somewhere here in Georgia. And this is a huge step in the right direction, and I'm so grateful for Secretary Perdue and so many others in D.C. that are fighting for us and our communities down here. I want to take a second to introduce Senator Loeffler for us. She's obviously our newest senator. She's doing a great job representing for us and really stood and had a great fight for our president, and I greatly personally appreciate that in your first few days in the Senate. This probably feels a lot like home, being on a farm in Illinois. It's probably like maybe June weather. It is my honor to bring you up here today to be able to address this great crowd. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. It is really humbling to be on this stage with so many of my fellow public servants and in front of all of you. I work for you. I am so proud to represent Georgia in the U.S. Senate. I have been on the job about 6 weeks now. 8 weeks ago, I was working in the private sector. So I am really proud of Georgia and Secretary Perdue for what he's done to bring together this great public-private partnership that's going to make our economy, our farm economy, strong. And as Lieutenant Governor said, I was raised on a farm, spent my first 17 years before I left for college there. And it is the number one reason I have lived the American dream. I want that for everyone, for future generations raised on a farm, and we need to do that through technology. And Secretary Perdue has realized that and supported it. And I am so humbled to be on the U.S. Senate Ag Committee, where I'm going to continue to advocate for our farmers. My office is working hard to make sure that we're addressing rural issues so that businesses can prosper, families can prosper, and that we can all continue to live the American dream. I talked to President Trump twice last week. Georgia is top of mind for him. He loves the farmers in our country. He knows, like I do, that farmers are the backbone of this country, of our state, and I'm going to continue to fight hard for all of us here in Georgia, especially our farmers. So because it's chilly, I'm going to make an introduction that I am so honored to make, and my fellow colleague in the Senate, Senator David Perdue. I couldn't ask for a better partner. We're both up there fighting for all of you, and it's really my pleasure to introduce Senator David Perdue.
Thank you, Kelly. Be honest, y'all, have you ever heard politicians talk this quickly? Rick, I do talk to the president about Georgia. He did win by 5 points. I was the chair of his committee running Georgia, trying to get him elected. I said, President, or Mr. Trump at that time, don't come to Georgia. We got you covered. You're going to win down here. Go to Ohio and Pennsylvania. And he did. He won by 5 points. He said, shoot, David, if I come down here, we'd have won by 25 points. Y'all, I'm honored to be here today. When Donald Trump got elected, he made one promise, and that was he was going to be faithful and be committed to rural America. He's committed that. I think the best thing he did when he got there was hire Sonny Perdue as the Secretary of Agriculture. And so, I'm a little biased, but I do believe that. But I'll tell you this, when Donald Trump says he's going to do something, when Sonny Perdue says he's going to do something, when Brian Kemp says he's going to do something, you better bet it's going to get done. And that's what's happening right here. This is a direct derivative of that commitment to rural Georgia.
deepening that port after 20 years of trying to get that port deepened. Buddy and Rick, everybody's been fighting for that. We finally got funding for that, where that port's going to be finished by the end of 2021. And I'm really delighted that President Trump made that happen. Disaster relief in southwest Georgia. But for God's grace, that could have happened here. But it happened in southwest Georgia, and the president had our back, and he released and made sure that that happened. Let me tell you, that didn't happen easily, and it would not have happened had anybody else been president of the United States. President Trump made sure that disaster relief got released and came to the farmers of Georgia. And this today is another manifestation of the fact that President Trump, I had dinner with him last Wednesday. I told him I was going to be here today. He said, you remind those people in southeast Georgia and all over Georgia that I've got their back. And you tell that governor down there, there's nothing he can't ask for that we're not going to make sure that gets done for Georgia. I'll tell you this, the 83rd governor of Georgia may be our best, and you can tell Sonny I said that, but don't you dare. We are delighted to have Brian Kemp as our 83rd governor. This guy is one of us. He loves this part of the state. We got him elected. He knows that, and he has never forgotten that. And the thing I love most about Brian and Marty and the girls is that it's not just about getting reelected, it's about the people of Georgia. I was at a school with them late last year, and the empathy they have for the needs of those kids in that school, school safety and human trafficking and all that, you would be extremely proud of this man and his family to be the first family of Georgia. And with that, I'll give you our 83rd governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Senator Perdue. Thank you all very much. This is a great day for rural broadband, short speeches, and a bonfire. I think we've said about all we could today. The state of Georgia is proud to have been a partner in just helping lend our support to what our federal folks have all done. Secretary Perdue and Joyce, and I know Janine Miller's here today. She worked on that when she was working for USDA, and we're looking forward to her being the governor's transportation director. But Senator Loeffler, the Congressman Allen and Carter, and the rest of our delegation. I mean, we have people fighting up in Washington, D.C. for rural Georgia every single day. We've got a great team up there, and I'm just excited. I know Lieutenant Governor Duncan is. We've got many legislators that are here today. Just please raise your hand. I know you got some from the district, but some are from out of state that support this effort as well. School Superintendent Richard Woods is here, Chairman Bubba McDonald with the Public Service Commission, and many other folks that are all supporting our state's effort on rural broadband. Christopher Nunn with the Department of Community Affairs has done a mapping program for our state. We all continue to be all in on this because it brings so much to our state. Economic development, better quality of life, access to telemedicine, and many other things. I'm just honored to be here. I want to thank everybody for coming out on a cold day, and for all you people, I know there's many of you that have my cell phone. Please let me know next time that this event will be outside. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we'd like to hear from the telephone companies themselves. We have David Stevens with Darien Telephone Company, and we also have Noah Covington with Pembroke Telephone Company. David's worked for Darien Telephone Company since 1990. He is the Director of Operations and manages over 30 employees and basically the whole operation, everything. So he's been very, very active in fighting for the funding for broadband in underserved areas. In fact, I would say that he's worked tirelessly to do just that, and their award today that they are receiving is just a sign that that's what he's been doing. Noah Covington of Pembroke Telephone Company. He's the Director of Operations and Advanced Communications. He's been a member of this team for over 29 years, and he has seen them through many, many technological challenges, from dial-up and to total fiber and a rebuild, a complete home overbuild completed in 2014. He also serves as the 1st District Commissioner for Bryan County. He's the chairman of the Development Authority for Bryan County and is an active member and an elder in Pembroke Christian Church. So we'll hear from them just a little bit. I think David's going to go first and then Noah. David?
Thank you, Miss Joyce. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to a lot of people. Thank you to Secretary Perdue and his staff. Thank you to Miss Joyce, Miss Deb. Without them, this event today probably would not have happened. I want to thank Senators Perdue and Loeffler for their efforts, and thank you. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate y'all creating this ReConnect grant. This grant is going to be huge, not just to rural Georgia, but to rural America for many, many years to come. So thank you, and thank you for the creation of this grant. I was going to name off some state officials, but there's a bunch of them here. So I'm going to name the ones right here on the stage, but I want to recognize, thank you, Governor Kemp, for being here today. Thank you to Senator Allen, Senator Carter, thank y'all. Thank you for everything. Lieutenant Governor Duncan, thank you. We appreciate you and your efforts as well. But I also want to thank all the local officials that showed up from McIntosh and Darien today. We appreciate you coming out and supporting us. I want to thank our Darien Telephone Company team that came today. I really appreciate y'all. There was a lot of effort that went into this. I want to thank our owners. I'm going to ask Mary Allison Jackson to please stand up. We thank each of you for your continued dedication and support to McIntosh County and the Darien Telephone Company, and to bring broadband to all of McIntosh County. So thank you guys. Through this grant project, we'll be able to offer broadband speeds of up to 1 gig. We're proud to announce to over 100% of our serving area once this project is complete. In this service area, this project area that we've proposed and we're going to build, there's over 60 existing homes with working class families, school age children, small businesses, government offices, churches, and our total project, I'm losing all this space here, I'm freezing cold, but our total project is expected to cost $1.4 million, as you heard earlier, with over $1 million coming from the ReConnect grant. This will allow us to construct over 30 miles of fiber main line and service drops with a cost of over $46,000 per mile and roughly only 2 rooftops per mile. You can easily see why this grant is so important to rural providers like ourselves. Our total project is expected to take about 3 years to complete, but I truly believe we will be completely finished with the entire project within 2 years. With this being said, I know Mr. Covington's ready to get up here. As everybody said, it's cold. I think the governor has a flight to catch. But again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Secretary Perdue. Thank you to the USDA again for creating this grant. Thank you for everybody that showed up today to support us. Thank you for Pat Fiber and all the guys that helped out putting this event together today. There's a lot of work that went into this. The rained us out yesterday, so we were pushed today. But thank each and every one of you. And as always, we just look forward to the challenge that lies ahead and just the opportunity to continue to serve our customers as we always have. If anybody has any questions, look for any of the Darien Telephone Company team members or myself.
I'd like to start out Buddy Carter a little bit here, and I just want to say that in lieu of what he said, we have found here in the 12th district, we have found Evans County to be just as warm and welcoming as the people in the 1st. So, on behalf of Criminal Advanced Communications, Evans County Economic Development Authority, and Evans County, we want to thank Secretary Perdue, Governor Kemp, Senator Loeffler, Senator Perdue, Representative Allen, Representative Carter, and Lieutenant Governor Duncan for all being here today. We want to thank you for your efforts to support rural broadband and for making this grant happen here in Evans County, Georgia. We want to recognize Mariana Hike, and Jeannie McCormick, Joanna, owners of Pembroke Advanced Communications. They are truly two of the best people you could ever work for or work with. I'd ask you to keep Jeannie in your prayers. She's suffering through a little this cold bug that we've all had, so if you will, just keep her in your prayers. A special thank you goes out to our team members, Beverly Perkle and Stephanie Morrison, for their hard and diligent work on this project. But no project this size comes together without a great team. And we have a great team at PAC. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We also want to recognize Adam Kennedy and the Economic Development Authority of Evans County. They've been a great team to work with. They've helped and supported us through this application, and we appreciate your help. Along with the ReConnect Grant Award, PAC will be investing over $2.5 million to build a state-of-the-art fiber optic network here in Evans County. Today we've heard how broadband affects rural Georgia and rural America. But I want to give you 3 specific examples of what's happening right here within eyesight. Next door, there's a senior, a young lady, a senior in high school. She has limited access to the internet here at home. Now I want you to imagine the possibility of change for this family. Their children can actually research, study, and take classes from home. Imagine the change in the education experience. Imagine the time that she can spend when she's off at college, when she comes home, because she'll have quality broadband access right here. Spring Hollow Farm had some conversations with Ellie and Donna, and these are just people trying to build their dream. And that dream, they need to self-sustain. Learn about pecan trees, cows, hays, and growing hay and rides to me. Now imagine the change of experience for this business. As they are better to able to research, record, advertise, and communicate about their business. I want you to imagine the production to be gained, allowing them to achieve the needed results. The next field over, on the other side of the church over here, is a 300-acre field. I'm not sure who farms this field, but I've had a lot of conversations with Mr. Hub Dane. He's a large farmer here in Evans County, and due to a lack of quality broadband service, he finds it extremely difficult to operate pivots and communicate with other precision agriculture functions that are necessary for today's farmer. In fact, he finds himself having to drive to town in order to gain connectivity to operate some of these applications. Now imagine the increased production and the savings he will be able to take advantage of quality broadband service. I want you to imagine the impact, the economic impact this is going to have on Evans County. Now I've asked you to imagine this because it is real. It's not imaginary. It's real. It's 3 places. And I wanted to demonstrate how this ReConnect grant and PAC will have a positive effect on the lives of the people of Evans County. Also, we are announcing today that PAC will be applying for round 2 of the ReConnect grant. Specifically, those areas west of 301 in Evans County and over into the edge of Tatton. These awards are based on a point system, and I'm asking you, if you have a farm or a business located in this area, we've got a table set up at the back, and we need you to fill this out so we'll have the opportunity to get the maximum points that are available to be awarded, and that'll increase our opportunities to get this award. I'm asking all you good folks on stage, you the folks that's made it happen, and we appreciate it, and I'm asking you to make it happen again. In the words of Burt Russell, one more time. PAC is thankful to be in Evans County, and we are happy and excited to serve you. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you all for helping make this a great day in Evans County.
the governor's got to leave. He's got another event in Atlanta. So thank you, Governor, for coming down, changing your schedule to be here. Lieutenant Governor's on the site with him, so thank you very much. Okay, some of your state legislators that made this possible and worked very hard with the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor. Steve Gooch, I'd like for you to come up, and Jeff Mullis, John Wilkins, to talk about what we did on the state level to clear the path for broadband.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here in Evans County. I'm from further away than anybody else that's still in Georgia. I represent Northwest Georgia, and I have Lookout Mountain in my district. In fact, in my area, there's a place called Plum Nelly. It's called that because it's Plum out of Alabama and Tennessee and Nelly out of Georgia. So this is my kind of weather up in the mountains. So thank you for helping me feel welcome. But look, we work on a lot of issues, and one of them is broadband in rural Georgia as well. So I'd like to introduce the author of Senate Bill 2, Steve Wilson from North Central Georgia. Steve, what's your name? Steve Gooch.
Some of you were wondering why the governor left in such a hurry. It's because he heard we were coming up to get on the microphone. I am from Dahlonega, Georgia. There was snow on the ground this morning when the sun came up. And I thought when I had the chance to come to South Georgia today, I would get some warm weather tonight. Let me just say what a pleasure it is with senators from this area. Senator Jack Gill and Hillary Blake up here. You're over there. These guys have been working hard with the Senate and the House of Representatives now. Here. We've been working on this issue for 3 years. We started out with a study committee over in Glenville. We went around the state talking to businesses, schools, healthcare providers, you name it. We heard stories about how kids would have to go to town at night to go to a Starbucks or to a public library if they're still open, just to get access to the internet to do their homework or their projects. I have 3 young boys in the public school system. We have the same problem up in North Georgia. No matter where you go in rural America, we see the problems with rural connectivity. I compare the internet service to the interstate system of the 50s and 60s. I believe it's going to do more for economic development than anything we've done in decades. Our first effort was SB 402, and we've got the DCA commissioner here. He's been responsible for working for the last 2 years to try to map out Georgia. We know that the FCC maps aren't accurate, so the state of Georgia is doing its own mapping. We've had to put several $1 million in the state budget to go and do this research. We're producing good maps that our friend Bubba McDonald over at the PSC will be able to help put this money out in places where it needs to go. There's a lot of work yet to be done. This problem is not going to be solved overnight. It's going to cost billions of dollars to connect America through the internet. But with help with people like Jack Hill, he's in charge of the appropriations process in the Senate, and our representatives over in the House, we're going to continue to work on every community in Georgia until we get everybody wired. So let me turn it over to Jack.
Y'all know what we're doing. We're treading water for time until Sunday gets here. So just understand this is not planned, and there's nothing intelligent that's going to be said up here in the next few minutes. So just understand that. No, listen, Senator Gooch and the other members of the Senate and the House that are here, I can tell you that broadband expansion is something very real in the minds of folks in the Senate and the House. And as Senator Gooch said, we're going to keep going till we get it done. But it is going to take private industry, the U.S. government, and of course our state working together to come up with the funds that we're going to need. So Senator Mullis is the Rules Chairman of the Senate. He is a valuable member of our team. We've got Senator John Wilkinson in the back who is running for Congress up in Northeast Georgia. And of course, Senator Tillery is here. Representative Werkheiser. We're just glad to have this delegation down here today. So thank y'all very much. Give us a few minutes. Thank you. I got great news, y'all. The drama queen has arrived. I grew up with this guy. The one thing I'll tell you about Sonny Perdue, he loves you. He loves you. He loves farming, he loves agriculture, he loves rural America. And he fights for y'all every day in Washington, D.C., in the madhouse up there. And I'm proud to introduce you. I started saying Governor Sonny Perdue, Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue.
These guys did a good job of filibustering today as they had in the state senate, and they did all right. So, now look here, y'all. I'm going to tell you just like I told that trooper that stopped me and asked me what I was in such a hurry for. I'm going to tell you, I got here as quick as I could. And so you're not always in control of the airline schedule, but this is a great event and a venue, and we are happy we finally made it. We were afraid that we weren't going to get here at all, and I know you all have heard about that. I came because I heard Joyce White was handing out some money down here, so that's good because we know, I just left this morning an Ag Outlook Forum, which the theme was the Ag Innovation Summit, where we had really people from all over the world, but particularly in the Western Hemisphere. We call it the Ag 5 from Argentina and Brazil and Canada and Mexico. And what the conclusion was obviously that Ag Innovation means connectivity as well. And that's what these grants are going to do here in rural McIntosh County, rural Evans County, to make people ability that come into the 21st century. Some of you, I'm looking at some of you out there, I can see y'all were here when rural electrification came. So you know how important that was. And this is no longer a necessity. This is what, thanks to President Trump's vision for connecting America, all of America. He doesn't believe in flyover counties. How about that? He wants the real deal everywhere. And thanks to his leadership, thanks to the members of our Congress that have appropriated this money, I want to thank them, Buddy and Rick and your colleagues. And who was that guy up here before me? He's gone. But anyway, Kelly wasn't there then, but she would have voted for it too in a farm bill that would have that supported this, and we're making a big effort. I got to call out one other person that's here that may not have gotten recognized yet, but Georgia's reclaiming her. But our very own Janine Miller was one of the drafters and the creators of this program. There's her report. That's one of the last things she did at USDA, a case for rural broadband. This is what prompted Congress and the President to understand the necessary for connectivity out here in our rural areas. So where are you? Janine's over here and has been nominated to be your next state DOT planning director when our legislature can get around to confirming that. She'll do a great job there. But I want to thank Joyce and all of our folks here. I know y'all a little chilly and gonna get warmed up here, but I'm just happy to be here there. And we want to, Joyce, have you brought these brought these awardees back up here yet? Have you already got your money? You got the check? All right. Well, dang, we're done then, aren't we? Well, thank you all so much. It's a great place, a great venue to be here today, and I know that you've heard from them. The legislatures that are here, the members of the legislature, I want to thank you all last year for obviously making rural broadband possible throughout the state through many means, and that was a real slug, but I know Gooch and others and Jeff are here, and I got to call attention to my old friend over there, Jack Hill. Jack and I went to the state senate in 1991 together, and he's still kicking. And look what I got to do now. So, Jack, thank you very much. We love you, friend, and give him a hand as well. I can tell you, rural Georgia doesn't have a better friend in appropriations than Jack Hill. We're delighted to be here with all friends and all of you. And God bless you. God bless America. Thank you very much.
Okay, I told you guys that he would probably somehow commandeer an airplane and get here, and that's exactly what he did. I can't wait to hear the story. So we thank you all for coming. We have special thank yous for Ellie, Donna, and Justin for this beautiful Spring Hollow Farm, Mascot Pecans, and the Outlaw Power Sports, Ray Farms, our law enforcement who have helped us so much in getting this in and out of this venue, John Thompson, the Band of Brothers, Eastside Baptist, Evans County Economic Development, and Chamber of Commerce. I thank you all. Special thank you to everyone. It's beautiful when a community comes together and makes something like this happen. It's extra special, so thank you. So we're dismissed, and at this time the press can come to the front where we'll hold a press avail right here. Thank you.